Hello and welcome back to the Parent Series. Today we're discussing co-regulation and how parents can help their children manage emotions. I'm joined by Sari Salvesen, a therapist at Endeavor Health Behavioral Health in Plainfield, who works with teens and families. Sari, tell us about yourself.
I am a therapist at Linden Oaks in the outpatient location at Plainfield. I work in the HP-IOP outpatient programming. I've been a therapist for about 15 years, and I've worked at Linden Oaks for majority of my career. I work with the adolescent population, and I really have a passion in helping teens and parents, for teens, how to help regulate their emotions and reducing the intensity and frequency of the depression. I really love helping parents. I run SOAR, which is supporting our adolescents in recovery, as a educational and support group for parents. So I have a lot of passion helping parents being able to better help their kids. So co-regulation is the process of two people helping each other manage emotions. So in this discussion, I'll be speaking to co-regulation in terms of the process of adults helping their child manage emotions through calm, supportive interactions. So while co-regulation in itself is two people helping each other with emotion and managing emotions, I'm really going to be focusing on parents helping their children regulate their emotions through these calm interactions.
So what does this look like on a daily basis?
It can be really subtle. It's a calm presence, someone who stays steady when you're upset, which helps your nervous system slow down. It's validation. It's hearing, yeah, that makes sense, or I'm here with you, which can reduce emotional intensity and allow somebody to feel safe and help their nervous system regulate. Tone and body language is a soft voice, relaxed posture, eye contact, helping name feelings. This sounds like you're frustrated, it sounds like you're overwhelmed. In the emotional chaos, it can really help somebody tune into their feelings when they're feeling dysregulated by somebody saying that out loud for them. And shared pauses, sitting quietly together, breathing, taking a break without leaving the situation, staying present, staying grounded. So oftentimes when a child is dysregulated, a parent modeling regulation is going to help their child regulate. And over time, repeated co-regulation becomes self-regulation. So when a parent who might not always feel regulated themselves, they might feel dysregulated, when they can take that step back and regulate themselves, provide connection with their child who is dysregulated, that modeling of regulation is going to then help co-regulate the child, which then is going to lead into their own ability to self-regulate later in life.
Can you give us an example of how that may sound?
I can see you're really upset. I'm here. Let's slow this down together. We'll figure this out once your body feels calmer. What that is that's tuning into when a child is dysregulated, their brain can't always process information. And a parent or an adult tuning into them, providing calm that they can latch onto, letting their brain and their body settle, and having someone help do that with them.
How does this change as they get older?
Co-regulation changes gradually. It doesn't ever stop being important. It just looks different as kids get older in their development. So as kids' brains, skills, and independence grow, the co-regulation is going to shift. The adult role shifts from doing most of the regulating to sharing the regulating to supporting it from the sidelines. The goal is going to look the same, helping them eventually regulate themselves. So let's talk this through of what it looks like at each stage. Toddler, early elementary school, that's going to be the adult role is going to look more regulating for the child. They don't have the skills or language to manage big emotions. What does it look like? It's physical comforting, holding, rocking, sitting close, naming feelings. You're mad because the toy broke. Calm voices, simple words, staying close during meltdowns. The message is, you're safe, I've got you. That's going to shift and look different into middle childhood. That's going to look more late elementary school. The adult role, it's regulating with the child. They're learning skills, but they still get overwhelmed. What does this look like? Helping them pause and problem solve, asking questions. What do you think might help right now? Teaching coping tools, breathing, breaks, movement, doing these coping skills with the child, modeling these coping skills in your own moments of stress, coaching through frustration without taking over. The message is we can figure this out together. Then what does that look like as moving into adolescence and teen years? The adult role shifts to support regulation from nearby. This looks more like standing in the sidelines. Teens need autonomy, but still need that emotional safety. Respecting space while staying emotionally available, listening more than fixing, validating feelings without agreeing with harmful behavior, staying calm when they're not, saying things like, I'm here if you want to talk, I trust you to handle this and I'll be there to back you up. And this message is, I believe in you and you're not alone. What doesn't change at any age is kids and teens still need connection before correction. So again, we need to tune into our children, validate, whether that's making eye contact, modeling calm. Once you've made that connection, the correction to whatever behavior is going on is going to land in a way that they can hear and feel safe. They regulate best with adults who stay calm. Emotional support and boundaries go together. Stress can temporarily lower regulation at any age. Even adults need co-regulation sometimes. It's just human. A helpful way to think about this is, how dysregulated is my child right now? How much support do they need in this moment? Not based on age, but their capacity, their emotional bandwidth at any given time. When stress is high, even older kids may need more co-regulation temporarily.
What should parents do when a child gets upset?
When a teen or child is upset, the most helpful thing a parent can do is be steady, respectful, present, not a fixer, not a judge. Teens still need co-regulation, but they need it in a way that protects their autonomy and dignity. And what does that actually mean? For a parent to stay calm and grounded, your teen's nervous system will cue off of yours. So when your voice is low and even, your posture and face are relaxed, avoiding sharp tones, sarcasm, or rapid fire questions. Even silence can be regulating if it feels safe for the child or teen and not cold or distant. Acknowledging their feelings without minimizing. Validation helps emotions settle. It doesn't mean you agree. Validation is simply recognizing that the person's reality is real to them. So for instance, some examples of that might look like, that sounds really frustrating. I can see why you're upset. Or this matters to me. Tell me more. Help me understand. Versus, you're overreacting. It's not that big of a deal. You'll get over it. Offer presence and not pressure. Many teens need space, but with connection, not just space by themselves. So this could look like, I'm here if you want to talk. Do you want company or do you need space right now? We don't have to solve it immediately, but I'm here. I can sit with you. Then respect the answer that they provide. That's going to help build trust and safety. Listen more than you talk. If they do open up, don't interrupt. Don't try to correct, and don't try to jump to advice immediately. Reflect back to them. For instance, you felt ignored. Then what happened? It sounds like you felt embarrassed. Tell me more. Feeling understood often calms them more than the solution. Avoid problem solving too soon. So again, since feeling understood often calms more than solutions, when emotions are high, advice can feel like criticism, even if that's not the intention. So instead of, here's what you should do, try, do you want help thinking this through? Or do you just want to vent? Do you want to vent? Or do you need problem solving? Again, that helps give them some of that validation and autonomy. Hold boundaries calmly if needed. Support and limits can exist together. I'm going to emphasize that again. Support and limits can exist together. Examples of this might look like, I get that you're angry, but I won't allow yelling at me. We can talk, and we need to do this respectfully. No threats, no power struggles, staying steady, staying calm. And then check in later. Sometimes teens process after the moment passes. Later you might say, I've been thinking about you and what you said earlier. How are you feeling now? Would you like to talk about it more? This shows reliability in showing up in presence without the pressure. What teens really need in these moments is to feel heard and not fixed, to feel respected and not controlled, to know they're not alone even if they pull away.
How can parents themselves stay calm?
Again, regulate yourself first. This is always going to be the foundation. Children's nervous systems sync with the adults around them. What helps? Slowing your breathing, lowering your voice, relax your face and shoulders, reminding yourself as a parent they're having a hard time, they're not giving me a hard time. Even if nothing else yet feels like it's working, your calm matters. Instead of asking, how do I stop this behavior, which might lead to anxiety or panic or getting more dysregulated as a parent, you can ask yourself, what does my teen's nervous system need right now? And can really help shift into calm and proactive. Staying physically and emotionally present, so not abandoning, threatening, or isolating as a punishment during dysregulation. What this might look like. Stay nearby or ask before touching or hugging. Get to their eye level if that's appropriate, especially if they're younger. And using minimal words. Helpful phrases is, I'm here, you're not alone, we'll get through this. Again, I spoke to this earlier, but name and validate the feeling. Validation reduces the intensity. It doesn't spoil or excuse behavior. Reduce demands and stimulation. During dysregulation, reasoning will not work. What does help is pause consequences or lectures, dim lights or reduce noise if possible, give space if they need it without disconnecting emotionally, saying things like, we'll talk about this later, right now we're just calming your body. Offer simple regulation supports, not commands. Invite instead of force. Options, breathing together, sitting quietly, cold water on the hands or face, movement, walking, stretching, going for a walk, inviting to go out for a walk, holding or comforting an item, a self-soothe, depending on the age. That could be a stuffed animal, it could be a pet.
Are there any other things parents can try in the moment?
Teens calm faster when parents lower intensity without shutting down. So again, what does this look like? Speak more slowly than usual. Use fewer words, keeping your tone neutral, not cheerful or stern. For example, let's slow this down in listening. Name the feeling gently. This helps the brain shift out of fight or flight. This sounds really overwhelming, or I'm guessing you're feeling frustrated and stuck. If they reject it, don't argue. It's just listening. Give controlled choices. This restores a sense of agency, which reduces escalation. For example, do you want to talk now or take a break and check in later? Would it be helpful to sit together or have some space? Both options keep you connected. Pause the conversation without abandoning it. This prevents blow-ups while maintaining trust. We're both getting heated. Let's pause and come back in 20 minutes. I'm not walking away. I just want us to reset. Again, you're modeling taking a pause, modeling a way to regulate, to come back when the emotions have settled back down, and not abandoning the conversation, making sure you come back to that, whether it's 15, 20 minutes. Then you want to follow through with a check-in. Regulate through the body. Teens may resist obvious calming exercise, so keeping that subtle. Walking together, driving somewhere quietly, doing a natural task side by side, folding laundry, like an example like that. Encouraging music, taking a shower. Connection doesn't always require eye contact. Sometimes walking next to your child, going for a drive where they don't have to make that eye contact, but you're in a safe space with the parent, can be really co-regulating and reduce some of that awkwardness of the eye contact if they're feeling anxious. Reflect and don't rebut. Reflect, not a rebuttal. Feeling understood reduces defensivenesses. Trying, you felt disrespected when I said no. It seemed like you thought I wasn't listening. Avoid, that's not what happened, or you're misunderstanding me. We can always clarify later.
What are some of the long-term benefits of this?
Co-regulation builds resilient nervous systems, healthy relationships, and emotionally capable adults. Over time, kids who are co-regulated calm themselves more quickly, recover from stress more effectively, handle frustration without shutting down or exploding. They internalize the calm they experienced with caregivers. This can help with healthy brain development. Repeated co-regulation helps wire the brain systems responsible for emotional control, impulse management, decision-making, and stress response. This supports long-term resilience and lowers chronic stress reactivity. Emotional intelligence. Kids and teens who are regulated learn to identify their emotions, express feelings in words, understand others' emotions, respond rather than react. These skills affect friendships, school, work, and family life later on. Secure attachment and trust. Co-regulation sends a powerful message. When I'm overwhelmed, someone stays with me. This leads to greater trust in caregivers, less fear of conflict, more comforting, asking for help, stronger, healthy relationships in adulthood. It also leads to better mental health outcomes. Consistent co-regulation is linked to lower anxiety and depression risk, better stress tolerance, fewer behavioral issues, healthier coping strategies. It doesn't prevent all struggles, but it buffers against long-term harm. It also helps improve conflict skills. Kids who experience co-regulation learn that disagreements don't equal abandonment. Emotions can be handled safely. Repair is possible after conflict. As adults, they're more likely to communicate clearly, set boundaries respectfully, and stay engaged during difficult conversations. It also leads to a stronger sense of self. Co-regulation supports identity development by teaching my feelings make sense. It is okay to feel what I'm feeling. I'm capable of handling hard things. I matter even when I'm struggling. This builds emotional confidence and emotional stability. Intergenerational impact. Adults who were co-regulated as kids are more likely to co-regulate their own children. They break cycles of emotional neglect or reactivity, and this can create a calmer, safer family dynamic. One important clarification: co-regulation does not make kids dependent. This actually creates more independence, better decision-making, and greater emotional autonomy, because safety and support makes growth possible.
Do you have any other advice for parents listening?
I think it's helpful to remind ourselves that we aren't just regulated all the time. As parents, we're going to feel stressed. We're going to feel powerless and helpless at times when our kids are struggling. We want to maybe jump in and fix. Those things are normal and completely valid. So the idea of co-regulation is recognizing when we are not regulated ourselves, what we need to do to get back into a calm, steady presence for our kids to tune into.
Thank you so much, Sari. To those listening, if you want to learn more about behavioral health services at Endeavor Health, please visit the link in the episode description. Thanks so much for listening, and we'll see you next month.